Good morning and welcome to the YardPrep pregame show here for 5 Reasons Sports. I am Kai'Chien Chisholm. Below me is Juan Cardona. To my right, Roy A. Shepard, and below him, Alfredo Arteaga. We are here for Tampa Bay.
We got rid of Michael. He was too negative.
We did.
Deal with it.
Mike is out there in Portland. Who knows what he's doing? You know, there's a lot of legal things there in Portland. But this is a friendly reminder to you guys that we are sponsored by ThriveFantasy. You can use code 5FINS to get a first match deposit up to $100 instantly when you go and use that, and use our link down below in the description so you can find that yourself. It's the place for all your fantasy needs. They make it simple. You only pick the star players. You do it every week. You don't have to be in fantasy hell like I am, where I'm 0-7 across 3 leagues, even with a team right now that should be dominating. But it's okay. Guys, today, Dolphins versus Tampa. Everyone's saying it's going to be a blowout. Just really quickly, before we get into what we're actually going to talk about and we get into the segments here, what is the overall feeling that you have? And I'll start with you, Royal.
I feel like this is the annual Dolphins win a game that they shouldn't win day. So, once a year, it's always a game that the Dolphins should lose. I think we've made that point several times on here. And with all the odds stacked against them, I believe today is the day. Tom Brady is one of their favorite victims when it comes to these games. So I'm looking forward to see how they come out to play after all the negative press that they've been getting, and just kind of coming out here and sneaking out a win.
Alf?
Well, you got to score points to try to win, right? so that's problem A.
Oh, and we'll
right?
get into it.
Okay, we'll get into it a little bit later on. But the sense I've gotten from the building all week is that they feel unusually good about this game. Like they have a plan.
Oh, God.
That'll tell you whether they have a good feel for their own team or they don't. So I said on the podcast, I expect them, for their own benefit, to play a good game today. They're 10-point underdogs. They should cover. They should cover. If they cover, they play hard. They lose a close game to Tampa Bay. Then they could say, you know what? We played hard. We played up to our ability, and we're fine. And then now Tua comes back to try to save the season. But getting blown out is probably not an option for this coaching staff or this front office today.
Mr. Juan Cardona?
I unfortunately have the pleasure of not being as positive as Alf. So I do foresee 1-4. I do see this being the first adversity that really Flores has to deal with. I think the first 2 years were more of like playing with house money. You've been saying that for weeks, Kai. But there is hope, right? There is some slim chance that as bad as we are, or as unlucky as the Dolphins are, they do manage to pull out a win that they have no business absolutely even being close in, right? So I do see what you're saying, Kai. I just also see that Bucs D line with Vita Vea, JPP, Shaq Barrett, their linebackers Devin White, Levante David, and I know the secondary's beat up, but
severely beat up.
Yeah, that front seven is a little scary to think about when we have Austin Jackson still out there.
So we're gonna go back there in reverse order as well. Getting into the first topic that we have, of course, now we see the reporting about Devontae Parker. He's going to be out. I wonder if that'll change maybe anything for any of you guys, for like a player that you would want to see have a really good breakout game here, probably wide receiver. But Juan, is there any player that you see on this team right now where you want to say today they need to make a mark in order for the Dolphins to have a chance? I know you want to be 1-4.
No.
But in order to have a chance,
I'm gonna say a pseudo wide receiver, so not really a wide receiver, but Mr. Mike Gesicki needs to get 12 targets. Like, no doubt about it, no questions, nothing asked. Like, I know Waddle, they're gonna give him 3 passes in the first half, and then he's gonna be the decoy for the next 3 quarters. But Mike Gesicki needs 12 targets. He needs to get fed early and often. He needs to be featured in the game plan. You can't just go into like middle of the third quarter and then you're like, oh, was that Mike's first target? If we do, like my name says, it's firing season.
Alf?
Yeah, I agree. It's Mike Gesicki. And it's not only just the targets, because Juan said 12 targets. That's fine. It could be 30 for all I care. Okay, but he has to play snaps. All right.
Yeah.
This team is getting themselves into a little groove the last few weeks, which is not a good one, of not playing him enough. He has to be on the field every single play, and then you're going to say, "Well,
Damn right.
what if they want to run the ball? Well, run away from him, or have him, double on the edge. Run with him. You got to play him every single snap. It keeps the defense honest. It keeps them on their toes. It keeps them thinking about having to use some of that secondary to defend him. So, they got to get out of that groove. They got to get out of that specialty substitutions that they've been doing for the last few weeks where, it's Durham Smythe and Adam Shaheen in 12 personnel. And then when we go 11 personnel, they got to use Durham Smith because then maybe they run to that side. All that's a bunch of nonsense. Play your best players.
Damn.
That's part of winning football.
Royal?
My answer is going to be Jacoby Brissett.
Ooh.
At the beginning of the year, I said that Jacoby is the type of backup quarterback that you would want as an insurance policy for a Tua situation. And so far, I have been dead ass wrong. He's not like nobody wants to see Jacoby Brissett play another snap for this team, and that shit is mind boggling because he has had some success in the league. And so I just want him to come out here and look like a goddamn NFL quarterback, like not enough with the
at least a backup quarterback.
At least anything, like at least somebody who should be in this league. Because at some points I would find myself wishing they had Geno Smith instead of Jacoby, and that's when you're in a bad spot. Like when you start talking about Geno Smith, then you've reached the sunken place.
Yeah.
So
that was my guy. That was my guy in the offseason.
I hated him. I hated every part of him. But Jacoby Brissett, like if he comes out here and he at least looks like an NFL quarterback, then I think that in and of itself is going to lend itself to my prediction, which is the Dolphins getting the upset. Because I agree. I want to see Gesicki get the ball thrown to him every time they goddamn drop back. And so in order for them to do that, then Jacoby Brissett has to look like a real player.
For me, it's Jalen Waddle. I know, like, I just because of Devontae Parker being out, like, I think I agree with the both of you, Juan and Alf, with Mike Gesicki and having to have a good game. And of course, for Mike or Jalen Waddle to have a great game, it has to go with Jacoby Brissett, obviously. But like, I want to see Jalen Waddle kind of have that show out game where it's like, okay, we picked you, you're a high draft pick at receiver, like kind of have that game where he does something. But as Juan pointed out, I'm sure he'll be used a bunch in the first 6 minutes of the game. And then all of a sudden they won't use him for the rest of the game because that's just how it's been going. And that's just the Miami Dolphins so far. But that's for me. Like, I just want to see Jalen Waddle show in and show out. Like, I want to make sure that he's getting the ball and actually having some plays. You saw it a little bit early on last week. And then again, they just stopped going his way for whatever reason, who knows. But do you guys think that this passing game will be somewhat efficient today? Just strictly off of the cornerback room, that the injuries that the Bucs are having, and just in general, like, do you think that Jacoby can put something together to make this game happen? And I'll start with you, Alf.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. First of all, the Dolphins get to flex some of that depth that they kept talking about all offseason, right? Especially in the wide receiver core. Devontae Parker is out, and in slides in Preston Williams. So, I guess we get to see that part. Yeah. But Tampa Bay did something really interesting last week that New England, by the way, did not take advantage of, all right? Because all they kept doing was throwing shorter and shorter and shorter. Mac Jones was playing inside of like a little 6-yard box all game, but he was efficient. He was kind of like a robot. But Tampa Bay was doing something really interesting to try to mask their secondary troubles. They were playing a lot of soft zone, a lot of off-man coverage. If you can't exploit that as a quarterback, then you just don't belong as a quarterback in the NFL. So they should have some success through the passing game today. Conversely, they shouldn't have any success in the run game because part of what Tampa Bay is doing with their soft off-man coverage is that they're sending numbers. They're sending a fifth guy. Sometimes they're sending 6. And, they're trying to use their pass rush to speed up the quarterback. There's 2 ways that speeding up the quarterback for Miami is actually a good thing. First of all, it gets them into their side-to-side game. But second of all, if they see a lot of single high, which they should if they're playing soft off-man coverage, then you can take shots. And that's something that they have to do today. If they have any chance whatsoever at winning this game today, they're probably going to need a cheap touchdown somewhere. and then they're going to need a long touchdown in another place. So take your deep shots because they're going to be there today, even with the time. And by the way, somebody posted the average pocket time the last couple of weeks. And Jacoby Brissett, he's been under siege. He's had enough time to throw the football.
It's been the same, I think, as Herbert and maybe Mahomes, or it might have been somebody else.
Burrow. It was actually
Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
You're right. Yeah, it was Herbert and Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
Juan, considering how, laughable you found the question at the beginning of it, what are your thoughts?
You saw me laughing?
Yes, I did.
So
everyone did.
So I am somewhere between I have to trust what Jacoby has shown me, and also somewhere between, well, shit has been there for him to hit, right? Maybe this week of like going on Twitter and having everybody play Monday morning quarterback kind of pissed him off, and maybe he'll actually start taking some shots. But that Colts game was brutal, man. Like there was plenty of big plays open, available, and there to be taken. And the way Flores described them was adequate. It was, look, plays were called, they were chosen to go short. So I mean, I can't really blame the coaching staff for calling that play when it's Waddle's wide open and we're just not hitting him, right? I'm hoping Jacoby does have that foot in the ass and realizes, okay, like, if I want a job anywhere next year, like, I got to get my shit together, because he's losing money right now, bro. Losing it. And
even the worst backup quarterbacks in the NFL can see that read. Like, I feel like Jacoby, like that was just... And it was embarrassing, to be honest.
I think it was Simon or CK. I don't know who said it. I wanted to give credit to them, but he's a big quarterback, but he just doesn't see the field well. Like Tua being 5'11", 6 foot, whatever it is, I feel like he is able to see the field better than Jacoby at 6'3" or 6'4", whatever he's at. And sometimes it's like shocking to me. I'm like, yo, this guy's a 6-year veteran, and it almost feels like rookie mistakes, damn near.
Yeah, and to add on to that, the Dolphins, and I said this also on the podcast, and I think I said it on your show. The Dolphins run like the scissors concept. And it's exactly how it sounds. It's like a scissors, right? And you run it on the right side or the left side. And the team that made that famous was Kansas City, and they run it with Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. The Dolphins run their poor man's version, which is Jalen Waddle and Mike Gesicki, which is not bad. Guess what?
I'll take that.
That thing is popping over and over and over and over again all year. They run about twice a game, and it pops twice a game. Last game, it popped, and it would have been for a touchdown. Yep. Jacoby Brissett's just not seeing it, or he's just not throwing it, or he just choked right there on that play, because on that pass, you got to see where the safety leans. If the safety leans to the boundary, you're throwing down the seam to Gesicki. If he leans down the middle, if he holds the hash, then you throw the other scissor to Jalen Waddle. Kansas City does that all game. Dolphins copied it.
Yeah.
Dolphins copied it, and guess what? They're running it well, and for whatever reason.
But you know what? Sorry, I know we want to get to Royal, but his answers to some of the questions are some of the oddest things. Like, they asked him, like, why wouldn't he throw certain things, and he answered somewhere along the lines of, like, I have to balance what's good for the team versus what's good for somebody else, like for him or something like that. And I'm like, bro, we just want you to hit an open wide receiver. Like, we're not asking you for like philosophies and like
make the damn read,
hit it, go, move on.
Throw the damn ball.
That's it. Yeah, like literally.
Yeah, so
it's just kind of annoying.
I'm just to kind of jump in there. I think Juan kind of took my point where it's like it's been receivers running scot-free, like in between secondaries, and those same opportunities will be here against the Bucs. They're playing Richard Sherman. Okay, like there will be people open.
Would you have ever thought you'd say that? Because they're playing Richard Sherman.
Like that's good. Richard Sherman. There will be people open. And I wanted to get to a question that Greg asked in the chat. He was like, does Gaskin get more looks today with limited options? I think he should. Him and Ahmed as well. Because the Dolphins should be throwing the ball. They're not going to have any success running. That's just not going to happen. So in order for them to win this
Royal?
game, then they're
Royal?
going to have to make plays in the first game. Yeah. Oh, thank you,
Take it away.
Michael Regalado, for the $4.99 dono. He said, do you guys think we can trade Howard to the Eagles for our first back and the second so we can tank? Funny, but no.
We
I
can't
don't
even
think
take right now. We got a whole
Yeah.
San Francisco's ass for us, bro. Oh my God.
Yeah, bro. There are too many teams worse than the Dolphins for them to actually like legitimately tank. And no, we're not gonna get that pick back, bro. That's out the question. But back to it, like I think the passing game can work, but they just have to. It's Jacoby. Jacoby has to throw the routes that are there and to pick on goddamn what's his face, Richard Sherman, because he's gonna let somebody run free.
Yeah, what's funny is that Michael Regalado wants to trade Howard to the Eagles. The Eagles are worse than we are, Michael. Yeah, I don't think the Eagles are in business for a shutdown corner. Okay, and we're out of that business right now. We're in the try to win football games business, and if you start trading our best players, then you're moving backwards.
Yep.
So.
Jets kicker just shanked an extra point. Sorry, this is a bad day for the brand. Juan, what are your? I mean, I know Alf just commented on it, and just to kind of bring that up, like, do you think that it would be plausible, especially considering your 1-4 prediction, which I think shouldn't have merit because Tua got injured, but whatever. Do you think with that, even though we are in the business to win games, that maybe they'll look at trading Howard? Just to answer the question.
No, I don't think so. I mean, if we're going down that route, think about who won us the one game we won. That's who you want to get rid of. So you're essentially saying, okay, cool. Like 1-3 is bad. 0-4 probably is not that worse. If you're gonna have that mindset, bro, blow it all up. Get rid of Flores, get rid of Greer, get rid of every coach, every scout, get rid of every janitor, every motherfucking cleaning lady, bro. Like the field attendants, the engineers, bro. Everybody. I want to see turnover 100%, because if that's the route we're going, it's gonna be some dark times in South Florida, bro.
There's a ball boy somewhere making like $12 an hour saying, "What the fuck is this guy trying to get me fired during this pregame shit?" I didn't do anything. All I do is retrieve the balls and bring them out to practice, man. I need this job, I'm trying to put myself through college.
There's a lot. There's been a lot of funny enough, there's been
that actually could happen though.
I didn't even mean to bring that comment up, but I was gonna bring it up in a second anyways. But there was a lot of discussion recently because a lot of these like photographers and stuff for the NFL that work for the NFL or work for teams have been posting stuff on TikTok about how they do their job and how much they get paid. So it's been a little interesting kind of background into that. But I guess to bring this up, since I brought it up accidentally, I was gonna bring it up anyways. Any idea on that possibly happening?
I think the season scapegoat as it stands. Like, I know fans want to say it's Chris Greer. I feel like the team is looking at their O-line coach, Lam Jean-Pierre, and they're like, bruh, like, what's up? Like, what's good? Like, and it's like, what, 3 weeks in a row where we bring Pouncey in, 2 or 3 weeks in a row where we bring Pouncey in, and it's almost like, and somebody said it in our chat, it's almost an indictment on him. Like we have to bring you extra help to coach.
Which is like super
embarrassing.
Yeah, and it's the curse of every young coach, right? Like you don't have minions because you've never had minions, right? So what Brian Flores has tried to do is create his own, right? And like that's why he keeps bringing in these young coaches and giving them run. Some have worked out. Gerald Alexander,
he's gonna be great.
He's a great coach. He's gonna be at DC soon.
Yep.
Like that worked out, but on the offensive side of the ball, it hasn't worked out.
And fucking flame.
We talked about this earlier. Sean McVay did the same thing. The only thing Sean McVay was smart enough. He brought in all the old heads on.
He brought in Wade Phillips and said, "All right, I'm not going to stress the defense. I'm going to handle the offense. You handle the defense.
Right?
Let's go see each other at a Super Bowl."
Right. And Brian Flores decided to do the opposite. He tried to have an old head for offense. Jim Caldwell, remember?
And Chan Gailey.
And Chan Gailey. So
the oldest of heads. The oldest of heads he already brought in there. I'm going to know on Pouncey because he's a Florida Gator and they're all criminals.
Don't tell Kai that.
Don't tell Kai. Kai agrees on a weekly basis. Every time every time that the Florida Gators get brought up and everyone tries to go, "Oh, the criminals," I'm like, "Yeah, that's exactly what happened."
Have you guys seen the latest?
Can't deny history.
Get too off track here on Bucks Dolphins, but have you guys seen the latest meme? It's so good. This one's one for the ages. Every time some chick on Instagram or on Twitter tries to post like a thirst trap, everybody's putting that picture of Urban Meyer just looking like really sly at them. Every once I'm scrolling down my timeline and I see the Urban Meyer face and I'm like, that has to be a chick. Let me see. And sure enough, there's some chick with a thirst trap and somebody came in with the Urban Meyer face. You know,
Kadero Patterson's gonna win league MVP. I just want to put that
dude. I can't believe I prioritized someone else over him because I didn't think that anyone in our league was gonna bite. And of course, Michael goddamn Christian is the one that bit and got Cordell Patterson. Anyways, as we move on from there, we're still waiting on the inactive list, so I want to jump ahead to kind of giving our keys to the game, things that we want to see happen just for the Dolphins to win. I know, Juan, that you're 1-4. And we've talked about the passing game and everything like that. But if there's like one specific key that you can outline, whether it's, being able to run the football or stopping Brady or whatever the case may be, what is your key to the game, your main key point?
Well, looking at team comparisons, Tampa Bay runs around 71.5 snaps a game on offense. 27% are runs. If we get gashed by Tampa Bay, I'm sorry, I'm going to have an aneurysm. Like, I'm going to lose my fucking mind because this team doesn't even want to run. They don't like to run. They want to just pass it all over the field with AB and Evans and Godwin. But, man, if they run it on us, bro, there's a serious issue. And I'm almost starting to think it's like a schematic thing. And I think I saw Alfredo breaking it down where it was either the Eagle front or the Bear front where every single big run has come from it. And it's almost to the point where if we're noticing that, why aren't the coaches noticing that? And why isn't there a fix or a solution or anything to that? Because if you're going to tell me, oh, well, Raekwon's back in there and he's going to fix everything. Raekwon was in on that 35-yard Damian Harris run. So, yeah.
Yeah, the problem with it also is that they get caught. They get caught in that front too often with the run because they want to use the Eagle front to rush the passer because that isolates their ends. And this year they've done something a little bit different than what they did last year. This year they seem to really like Jalen Phillips and Emmanuel Ogbah one-on-one on the outside, and they're trying to isolate him. And they're getting some decent results as of late. But those Eagle fronts, every time they get caught on it with the run, all they do is they double the zero, they double the nose tackle, and then they just pop off big run after big run.
Yep.
The only difference there, the only thing that can make a difference is Raekwon Davis is going to be back, and John Jenkins is not going to play 49 snaps. Now, John Jenkins should not be playing 49 snaps, and it's not because he's bad, okay? It's because that's not who he is. John Jenkins is supposed to be a guy that plays 15 snaps max.
Yep.
Okay, like 3rd and 1, okay, John Jenkins should be in. 4th and 1, John Jenkins should be in. Okay. Like that's when John Jenkins should be playing. He should not be playing 49 snaps. So, yeah, I would agree with most of what has been said. But yeah, today the main key for today is getting pressure on Tom Brady. I thought that Patriot game was kind of fool's gold because Antonio Brown dropped a touchdown, and he probably should have had another one. So that game was teetering on a 2-score Bucks win the entire game.
Nope.
Okay, but they played them really, really conservatively. They didn't blitz. New England essentially tried to sit back in zones, and they just tried to beat their tackles with outside rushes. And Judon had some success, and Jalen Phillips should have that same success on their left tackle. But other than that, I think they're going to have to change some things up because that game was fool's gold. If you think that you're going to emulate what New England did and then be close, be tight in the game, late in the game, I don't think so. I don't think it's possible at all. Remember, New England also got aided by a driving rainstorm. So,
Roy?
Yeah. First of all, I want to acknowledge the boy Shake Money. He said, if we fire everybody from the organization, let's fire all the beat writers and all the YouTubers as well. I think that's funny. Yeah, I do think New England kind of put out a blueprint of sorts as to how to deal with the Bucs, but I'm with Alfredo. You can't try and do what they did and win this game because you're not gonna do it. At the risk of sounding like a broken record, Jacoby Brissett. That is the key, bro. If he's not an absolute dumpster fire out there on offense, then this team gives itself a chance to do something. They can sustain drives. They can limit the amount of time Tom Brady's on the field, or at least partially, give that defense a breather, and then you can, rely on them to kind of try and bring it home. I think X and Byron Jones have as good a chance as any against this receiving core, so you can limit the weapons that the Buccaneers have to go to. But I just think as long as the offense can get going in any way, shape, fashion, or form, then that absolutely helps this team because we've seen the same formula the last 3 weeks. Defense on the field the whole game, offense can't do shit. Other team gets too many opportunities to score points. You cannot give Tom Brady more opportunities than necessary to beat you because he's going to do it every time.
So as we get ready for the game, we still have yet to get an inactive list, but I just want to roll through some of the injuries that we've had on the injury report. This is from the latest one on Friday. For the Dolphins, Byron Jones was a full participant. Devontae Parker was limited. It looked like he was questionable. Now he's out, according to reports. Adam Shaheen was a full participant. X was a full participant. Brandon Jones was a full participant. And Greg Mance was also a full participant. On the side of the Buccaneers, Antonio Brown did not practice, but it looks like he's going to play according to some reports from some Buccaneers reporters. Chris Godwin was a full participant. Rob Gronkowski is out once again. Jason Pierre-Paul is questionable. Antoine Winfield Jr. has a concussion. He is out. And Ndamukong Suh, he didn't have an injury-related issue. He did not practice on Friday. I couldn't find any other reports about that, but it looks like he might play. Antoine Winfield Jr. and Rob, probably the biggest ones on there for the Buccaneers, right?
Easily, and both of them matter big time for their game plan. But then again, Royal's absolutely right. All of this comes down to Jacoby Brissett. You got to be able to execute the game plan that's going to be there for you. Like I will have no doubt in my mind. Like, look, I don't know if you guys, I don't know how many Detroit Lion games you guys have watched, but they
watched a good amount a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Well, this year their passing game seems to, their passing game perks up every once in a while with Jared.
Jared Goff looks okay. Jared Goff looks okay over there.
Wait, I'm gonna do a Stephen because nobody knows who the hell plays wide receiver on that team. So I'm gonna do a Stephen A. Smith here. Jared Goff and them boys have been playing really, really, really well this year, right? So I had no doubt in my mind if this matchup today was Detroit, Tampa Bay. Yeah, Detroit might still lose by 2 touchdowns. But they will get something on offense. That's what they're going to need today. They're going to need execution from their passing game. It's not going to come from the running game. They're going to have to get something through their passing game, and that's Jacoby Brissett.
I do know someone who plays on the Lions. It's Amon-Ra St. Brown, German, and also FC Bayern fan. So that's why I know who he is.
And DeAndre Swift. Don't forget him.
Preston Williams going to ball out today, bro.
For all of 2 catches for 37 yards.
He's getting guarded by Richard Sherman.
And getting balls thrown by Jacoby Brissett.
As we get ready for some other things, as we wait for the inactives, wait for everything to get going, I want to bring up some history of the game between the Dolphins and the Buccaneers. So each week I include this in the rundown and I forget to bring it up, but we're going to run with it today. Can you guys tell me the last time the Dolphins beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
2015.
1985.
Damn, you think Marino did it?
Royal?
I have no goddamn earthly clue, bro.
The last time that the Dolphins beat the Buccaneers was November 15th, 2009. It was a 25-23 win at home.
Was that with Freeman?
The quarterback was Chad Henne. He went 17 for 31, 175, a touchdown and interception. His longest pass was 25 yards down the field.
Who was the Bucs quarterback? Josh Freeman?
The Bucs quarterback, I thought I had written it down, but I did not. I believe it was, though. And Dan Carpenter was 4 for 4 with a missed PAT. And Brandon Fields had 6 punts for 273 yards.
Josh Freeman, man. Josh Freeman. Has there ever been a guy like that in the history of football? Because Dante Culpepper had like a
close Aaron
that he flamed out without an injury now. Like obviously RG3 had the injury, but
Josh Freeman went from the next big thing and one of the best young quarterbacks in football going to be a star to nothing.
Jameis?
In 1 year. Nah, Jameis is back now. I don't know if you're paying attention.
Yeah, Jameis is back.
I'm paying attention because of the FSU thing. Like, I love Jameis Winston. I love him. Like, he's good.
From
he's a
there,
good guy.
can you guys tell me the last time the Buccaneers beat the Dolphins?
Oh, 20.
The Richie
2015,
Incognito
actually.
game. The Richie
2015.
Incognito game.
What'd you say, Juan?
2015, no? I might
Any
be
year
off
guess,
one year.
Alf?
Yeah, it was Bullygate. The week that Bullygate broke out. I think Rashard. I'll even tell you what happened. Rashard Matthews, I think, had 2 touchdowns.
That was the game.
So the last time that the Buccaneers beat the Miami Dolphins was November 19th, 2017. They won 30-20 here in Miami. The Dolphins had 2 quarterbacks playing, one of which threw 3 interceptions. Can you guess what quarterback that was?
For who? The Bucks?
The Miami Dolphins. They had 2 quarterbacks play. One of them threw 3 interceptions.
Tyler Thigpen.
Wasn't it Tannehill?
Ryan Tannehill.
Jay Cutler threw 3 interceptions and 1 touchdown.
That's the game where he got hurt and Matt Moore came in and made a run at it. Yeah, now
Matt Moore came in and threw for
Omar must have gone
280
crazy
yards
that game.
and 1 touchdown. Kenny Stills had 7 receptions for 180 yards and a touchdown. And Damian Williams was the leading rusher with 69 yards. However, he was a leading rusher with 78 yards. However, his long was 69 yards. So realistically, it was 9 carries for 9 yards. And can you guess who the quarterback of the Buccaneers was in 2017? We know him very, very well.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
275,
2 touchdowns, not a single interception. And Mike Evans and OJ Howard absolutely torched the Dolphins defense.
Oh, Inactive just came out.
We'll get to that in one second. Last history note I have: the Dolphins are behind in the series 6-5. The Dolphins starting quarterback, the last time that they had their biggest loss was Gus Frerotte. And then the last time that they had their biggest win in the series was 1991. They won 33-14. Dan Marino was the quarterback on that team. So
Gus Frerotte is a good name.
I was gonna say I did not think I was gonna wake up today and talk about Gus Frerotte. And
that's a good name, bro.
I do a lot of research for these. I will be honest. I never remember to bring it up.
We got to, dog. It's killing.
Gus Frerotte was the best one and done Dolphin quarterback
ever. Easily, like literally.
In that game, he went
people would say,
what
about Chad Pennington? He was an MVP candidate. Not Chad Pennington actually played the following year.
You just got hurt. Yeah, people forget that.
So here we go. Inactive list. Once again, Juan's 2 favorite players in the entire world, Trill Williams and Noah Monogamy.
There might be something going on there. I don't know.
Not active. Devontae Parker, of course, out per reports. Greg Little also out. Hunter Long out again. And John Jenkins is also an inactive. Isaiah Ford was brought up to the roster yesterday. And, of course, Raekwon Davis was brought off of injured reserve. So
we're talking about this inactive list has a first rounder, a second rounder, and a third rounder. I don't remember if John Jenkins was drafted or not.
I really thought that Trey and Jakeem Grant would clear up a spot for Noah to as a returner.
Oh shit, good point, Royal. Damn. So who's returning kicks and punts? Just Waddle full time?
I don't know. I thought I don't like that.
Javon Holland can do it.
You can do punt.
I don't want him returning anything.
John Jenkins was a 3rd round pick
on defense.
Yeah, fuck.
Who?
See, John Jenkins.
Was a 3rd round pick.
I'm still on the returning shit, bro. I don't know who's going to return kicks
because they're treating Jalen like juice, and I don't think he has it in him to last 17 games getting beat up the way he is. So getting a little concerned there.
Well, remember there are no kickoff returns anymore because
it's basically
nobody kicks to the Dolphins anymore.
Yeah, because we don't score.
Yeah. So, any thoughts on that? Is there anything that anything big there besides
Well,
it fits into the whole motif, right? Like if you're gonna win the game today, you're gonna need a cheap touchdown, right? Maybe Waddle gets you a cheap touchdown on a punt return.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna need a defensive score, a special team score, an offensive score, Tampa Bay not to score, and then we all wake up.
We're gonna get
So-
a pick. I think we're gonna get a pick out of Tom Brady. I saw
for
Greg
sure.
ask-
I
I thought
think
Greg asked that
I think
earlier.
X
I
gets
think the
two.
Dolphins get a pick, and
I
I
think
think
X
that
gets
might
two.
be
Yeah.
the defensive touchdown that you're looking for right there. I don't know about the fumbling and all that.
I know Igbenogany. It's a weird thing, right? But it's one of those things. He just doesn't get it, right?
How does he improve, Alf? Like I'm sorry, Coleman. Like I liked him in camp. He's a liability right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is Noah gonna be that much worse? Or sorry, let me rephrase that. If Noah is that much worse, fuck it. That's a first round pick. Let him take his lumps. But Coleman being this ass, like who cares? Like he's gonna be gone next year realistically. Build with Noah. Like why? Like I don't. It's like hitting a head against the wall and like figuring out why we can't get through it. Like I don't get it.
Well, what I see here is Noah Igbenogany being inactive. It just means what it means to me is that Baron Jones is going to start. He's going to play because had he been inactive, I think Noah would have been activated. But they just don't see a spot for him. In other words, they see Noah Igbenogany as exclusively a boundary corner now.
He's no seventh or eighth corner at this point.
Yeah, which means if you're a boundary corner, you're like Trill Williams. You don't get to play. You know what I mean? You don't get to play because you already have boundary corners. You have Baron Jones, you have Xavier Howard. So, there's no use for another boundary corner, which means that I believe it was like 2 weeks where they were trying him in the slot. Like that's over.
Did not work out.
Yeah,
did not look good, probably.
So I think that was their plan, and their plan went nowhere. Like from now on, Igbenogany
Noah went nowhere.
Noah's getting bleak for Noah. I understand the season is long, but it's rough. It's rough.
Well, I mean, are we still saying that Noah's prove it year is next year, considering he was the youngest player in the NFL last year, and then the next year is the year where it's like, okay, either put up or shut up. Just in general,
have to because eventually once year 4 kicks in or starts to go on, you got to start making decisions about that 5th year option, and if you don't take it, I mean, shit, we spent 3 years with him on the sidelines doing absolutely nothing.
Well, the thing is that there's precedent to this before. It's not. I wouldn't say that it's common, but it happens a lot where a team develops a guy for 3 years, especially a really young player, and then they come into their own and they get the snaps that they originally envisioned, like in that 3rd year. So I would say that next camp is Noah Igbenogany's make it or break it. Like he has to play next year somewhere, even if they have to convert him to safety. He's gonna have to play.
So my thing is, I think that kind of lends itself to Juan's point. Like if you're trying to get him to kind of pop a little bit next year, wouldn't it be to their benefit to have him out there this year? Like the reps that you get on the field during game action are the best way to develop somebody. Like they're invaluable. And if he's on the inactive list all year, then to me that kind of signals that they've already lost all types of faith. He can't get on the field. Like he can't get on the field now.
And the one game he was on the field, I don't think anybody as far as our DBs was really hurt, right? So it was more of like getting him on there. And I think that was the Raiders game. I could be wrong, but I saw him on a punt return where he was one of the gunners or the blockers, and he just looked lost. Like he went to block the opposite side of where the ball went, and he was the only person out there. So I don't know if they just don't even think he could play special teams, because let's say a week comes by that Byron does get hurt or X does get hurt. If they put Trill out there like over Noah, like
then that's a problem.
That's just, I mean.
Oh, sorry to cut you guys. Hi, Lex.
So one thing that I think I kind of forgot to bring up while talking about some of the inactive list stuff as well, and I don't know if this really has any bearings on the game. Of course, John Jenkins be inactive as well. Not only did the Dolphins bring Raekwon off of the injured reserve, and he will be playing today. Isaiah Ford, of course, is playing, and Jabal Sheard was also elevated from the practice squad, and he will be playing today. Do we have any expectations, or do you think that there's any reason why they have Sheard playing over John Jenkins? And I'll start with you, Alf.
Yeah, it's what Juan said earlier on the show. They throw the ball, so you want to get pass rushers on the field. Like, they're punting on stopping the run today, which is, you can tell it's part of their game plan. But, Raekwon Davis is going to have to hold it down. But Jabal Sheard he's a defensive end who fits perfectly with what they want to do. And, he's one of those guys that, they were made for New England. And if you're made for New England, then you're made for Miami. So he's perfect. He's perfect for what they want to do, especially on the edge. So I would expect he plays. He plays enough. He plays a lot because that'll give. Because if you notice that they're trying to be smart about Jalen Phillips and they're trying to keep him fresh to just unleash him on obvious passing downs. So if that's their plan, Jabal Sheard could take a lot of those early rundowns, and he'll help against stopping the run. So
I think if you're made for the Patriots, you're made for the Dolphins. Thing is true unless your name is Calvin Noy, and then you're not made for the Dolphins at all. You should never be.
You just go back to the Patriots.
Yeah, just go back to the Patriots, bro. That's where you're good. Stay there. Don't come here ever again.
By the way, everybody on Twitter, man, because that's the thing. Part of the problem is that we don't come back with the receipts. Calvin Noy has been absolutely god awful. Maybe
Dog shit.
Maybe Brian Flores spotted.
He hasn't been on Pat McAfee's show too often, huh?
No, he has not. So maybe
They don't say anything about him either. They don't talk about him at all anymore.
And the thing about Calvin Noy is that sometimes it's hard to see if a guy's really bad or not. Like a guard.
Not for him.
Like a guard, you got to sit there and say, all right, I'm going to watch this guy play every down, and I'm going to figure out if he's bad or not. No, Calvin Noy is different. When you're giving up 40-yard penalties in every single game, yeah, you're bad.
Yeah, that boy different, all right.
All this crap about, Kyle Van Noy this, Kyle Van Noy that. Well,
I think they spotted something. Yeah, he had 7 sacks last year. I think Brian Flores looked at him and said,
most of them came in 2 games.
We gave you 2 3-sack games off of just schemes. Relax. We can find somebody else to do that.
Yeah. They decided, you know what, man, we're paying this guy money and it's not going to work out going forward. So they were smart about that.
Before we get into our game predictions, because we want to round off with that, I did say that we'd bring in a segment today, and with some inactives coming on now recently, there are some players that I've had to just switch out. And I'll start with you, Royal. As we get into fantasy football this week, some of the games already started. You already made a small mental mistake on your team. Is there a player that you're looking for most? And we'll bring this up to the comments as well. If there's any player that you have questions about, I can't answer. I'm 0-7, but maybe anyone else here could and give you a better answer. But is there any player
like
that you're looking
5.
for?
How are you in 0-7, bro? I'm
0-7 through 2 leagues.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
So it's
still
disappointing.
Doesn't add up, but okay.
Because one of them we started week 2. All right.
Oh, okay. All right. Now,
anyways,
yeah.
Is there any player that you need most this week in order to get a win in your fantasy football league?
Okay. So I'll just go ahead and talk about what you alluded to. I'm playing the GOAT Alfredo Arteaga this week, and I started Calvin Ridley. Forgot to put him on the bench because he's not playing today at all. But he started Russell Wilson, and Russell Wilson only gave him 9 points, so I got more points from a tight end than he got from his quarterback. The person that I need to perform most or have a bounce back game is you didn't have to put that up. I felt like you disrespected me by putting this up here.
Oh, you're not proud of your team, bro? You're not proud of your team?
I mean, no, my team is fine, but you know what I mean. He didn't have to do this to me on live television. Put up that 0-7 record of yours. That's what you do.
I will.
Don't air my dirty like. No, but the player that I want to do extremely well today is a guy who you asked me whether or not you should sit. Mike Williams. He has been an absolute monster this year. Mike Williams.
No, I know. Who's his quarterback, though? I think he's good.
It would have been the same if he had two
pulling a mic.
But no, Mike Williams is the guy because we talked about it off air a little bit. They're playing the Browns today, and the Browns are one of the better defenses in the league. Yep. And so I would hope that he could continue his hot streak against them, because I've been leaning on him pretty heavily during fantasy, and he's been producing for me. So if he can keep up that same production versus the Browns, then I believe I'm in good shape because, again, Alfredo Arteaga got 9 points from Russell Wilson.
You keep bringing that up like if you're trying to get a rise out of me. I'm not going to say anything about it. The man broke his finger. All right. Oh, by the way, guys, we do have Chris Kaufman today at the stadium, live and in person, to witness this. So.
I may or may have not heard that there's going to be a very good question asked by him after the game, so I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, but we've talked about it so much that Dolphins...
They're probably prepared for it.
They're probably prepared for it, and they're going to throw him out on his ass as soon as he asks the question.
They're gonna do him like they did in Fresh Prince. They're just going to throw him out.
Yeah.
Alf, considering you're going against Royal, is there any player that you need this week to secure the win? I mean, with Royal starting Calvin Ridley, I mean,
I just looked at it. There's a little questionable next to who up there?
Amari Cooper, Melvin Gordon, Antonio Gibson. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but they're all playing though.
Yeah, Gibson.
That's what I heard. They're all playing.
Has a stress fracture and he's still playing. Like he's gonna be gone in like 3 weeks.
I could go off the board, right? I could go off the board here, right? I don't have to.
Yeah.
You know who's been a revelation in my money league? Tyler Heineke. Guy is absolutely
look at that
money.
Heineken didn't want to pay him that money. I think he went to Budweiser instead.
The Washington football team went out and got Ryan Fitzpatrick for no apparent reason because they already had him on the roster.
There's some justice or poetic justice
kid,
for him to have.
They had a better Ryan Fitzpatrick.
For Ryan Fitzpatrick to have a hip injury.
They had the better Ryan Fitzpatrick on the roster. Now, not to move ahead here, but Taylor Heineke, I don't know if his future is as a starter in this league. He's going to come down to earth. He's going to have some bad games, right? He's free agent at the end of the year.
Wait, Alfredo,
backup quarterback?
Are you saying there's going to be some type of starter reliever program once Fitzpatrick comes back in Washington?
Oh my God!
Or is that only Miami? Oh,
maybe. No, I think Ryan Fitzpatrick lost his job.
Yeah,
I did too.
I wonder if he's going to cry about it this time. Juan, any player that you're relying on in fantasy this week?
Love that parting shot, Kai. You know what? I'm going to talk about my guy who I drafted in every single league because I knew he was going to explode, and that is DJ Moore of the Carolina. Actually, of the 3-1 Carolina Panthers. Let me put respect.
Oh God!
I think that DJ Moore is.
What happened in that one though?
Their run defense got destroyed. They were averaging 45 yards rushing to the other team for 3 weeks, and then the Cowboys ate them up for 245. They got
or they played a team that's better than like a JUCO team from
they play something better than Bishop Sycamore. Okay,
could be for sure. But we play who we play is on the schedule. We can't control that.
Now it's we with the Carolina Panthers.
I've been like teetering on the edge of like being an unofficial official Carolina Panthers enthusiast. I won't say.
Well, I'm a Cowboy fan, so
all right, so cool. We cool. Yeah,
I'm a Giants fan.
I'm a Panthers fan. So
I'm a Green Bay
we're
fan.
out here. We're lit. But no, I think DJ Moore looks like the type of player who's going to end up with a top 5 overall wide receiver season. He's had back-to-back 1,100 yards receiving years. I think 2 years ago it was 88 catches. Last year was 66. And his problem was always touchdowns. And this year he's already matched last year's touchdown total, I believe. So I think DJ Moore is going to be a name that I would definitely target if you don't have. And if you do have him, I would not move him for absolutely nothing short of I just wouldn't move him.
For me, the player that I'm holding a lot of cards on and hoping gives me good production across both of my leagues is Laviska Shenault. Now, hear me out.
No, that's a good one.
Each week that Laviska Shenault, I've said he's going to burn, he's not going to do good. He burns me and puts up points. I'm putting my faith in him, and I'm starting him at my flex in 2 different leagues this week. And
are you saying he's going to put up points?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to take him off my starting now. Hold on.
All right, you do that. Listen, I think
Laviska's going to do good. Fantasy advice from Kai'Chien Chisholm.
You shouldn't. You should never take fantasy advice from me.
But I do want to ask the question. I do want to answer the question that Javier put in there. He said, "Is this the week that I start Gesicki over Hawkinson?" Absolutely not.
Yeah, I was right after him.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I didn't hear it, but absolutely not. Jacoby Brissett is still playing quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. Ask that question again next week.
Yeah, you can't trust any Dolphin
at all
in
man.
fantasy.
It's so bad.
Maybe Jalen Waddle.
I traded Jalen Waddle. I said, "Fuck that."
You could trust Jalen Waddle because if you're in a PPR league, he's going to get targets.
Facts.
So, but other than that, maybe Devontae Parker when he's back.
I want to give you like a random little, thumbs up. Kadarius Toney looked good last week, bro. No Sherlock, no Shepard this week. Again, no who's the other guy? Slayton this week. Tony, listen, 100-yard game and a TD wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility, in my opinion, this week.
Let's
You know what? And
this
this season's a little weird because
gonna have to
I'm about
face
to
him
say
too.
I'm about to say something that I don't think anybody, definitely not on this show, but anywhere has. I don't think anybody's said this on earth. Daniel Jones, good. He's a good quarterback.
He's solid.
Danny Dimes. I'm pretty sure Juan said that though.
Yeah.
I
I threw my shot at 3 quarterbacks this year having good years that were bad. I said Wentz.
One of them's already
Darnold,
dog shit.
Wentz, Darnold, and fucking who we talking about?
Daniel Jones.
Jones. And
I thought you were talking about
right now
Mac Jones as well.
No, well, I mean he's done his job. I'm not gonna beat him over it, but
Yeah,
the three that I said were bad before and could be good this year. I'm batting 6.7.
I think we'd be remiss not to mention Kadaro Patterson either, as a person who has been dominant in a lot of fantasy leagues this year.
I did not expect that at all.
Bro, nobody did.
I
That's why.
This is like, I think he went to
today,
Tennessee.
bro.
This is like seeing him at Tennessee. Like they're just using him like any way to get you.
He's
the
got
ball,
13 points right now going into the fourth today.
That's wild.
Yeah,
But he also was out for a little bit, 13. But he was also out for a bit with concussion protocol, and then
he's taking snaps at running back and wide receiver, and in some leagues you can start him at both.
Yep.
So it's just a huge advantage to have somebody like that on the roster.
Yeah, he's been passed around the league like a joint, and I don't know why.
Like a bad one too.
Because people pigeonholed him as a returner. Like
they did.
But as a returner, he's great. As a gimmick player, he's great. And whenever you give him an opportunity, he performs. Yeah. I've never gotten why nobody wants him.
They don't want to. They don't want to deal with having to be creative for the yards. They want to just you're an X, you're a Y, you're a Z, you're a running back. Go make a play. Like that's what they want. Instead of saying, I could play you maybe at all 4. Well, fuck it. Let me just fill the pieces with the other and be creative. Like I think it takes a certain team. Surprises the Falcons.
So really quickly here, I want to run through our picks that we had, just because I want to run through them and then go through our game predictions. I know our picks are already on there, so actually let's reverse that. We're gonna go with our game predictions for today's game first, and then bring up the picks across the NFL. I will start with you, Juan. Today's game, Miami Dolphins versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers, will end in what?
A 33-13 win by the Buccaneers.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Alfredo Arteaga.
Okay, I think the Dolphins will play a little bit better than some are expecting them to, but Tampa Bay put some daylight between the two in the fourth quarter. Tampa Bay 35, Dolphins 21.
Royal.
I do believe that the Dolphins will score 21 points. I believe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will score 17. I have the Dolphins winning today in the one game that they're supposed to lose, but they're going to win. I have no statistics, no analysis to back any of this shit up. It's just a gut feeling that the Dolphins will win this game because they are supposed to lose it. And 21-17 is going to be my guess as the score.
You read my rundown? Because it's exactly what I put. 21-17, Dolphins win.
I have not read your rundown, Kai'Chien
I know
Chisholm.
you didn't. That's why I just had to say it out there. I always send it. Anyways, my bold prediction as well, just to put that out there, is that the Dolphins are going to get another defensive touchdown, and Jacoby Brissett is going to throw a touchdown. That's my bold prediction as well. So as we get through,
that's a bold prediction.
That's a bold prediction.
Touchdown.
We know he throws 0, so it's a bold prediction that he'll get at least 1.
1 and 3 has done to us. I see it. I can't wait for 1 and 4.
Exactly. 1 and 3 with Jacoby Brissett. But anyways, so as we round out here, want to bring it up, our picks for this week. It's just gonna get brought up in the middle of the screen just because I don't want to do anything else. As you see, we have the picks from Michael, who is across doing who knows what. We also have the picks from myself, Juan, and Royal. Oh no, this is the wrong one. Excuse me. Let me bring this different one up. That's week 4. Give me a second. I apologize. I don't know why I put week 4 up there. 5, 4, 3. Listen, you know what? Okay, there we go.
There we go.
These are the picks for this week. I just want to put it out there that I'm the only one that put his pick on time, and then the ones who didn't all picked the Rams. I'm just gonna put that out there. I feel like I shouldn't get a loss for this.
I feel like you should. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I get what you're saying.
Everyone else put their picks after the fact, but It's whatever. So
I
far,
put my picks in yesterday, like the Rams were gonna play today.
yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Whatever.
My bad, Kai. My bad, bro.
But anyways, so thus far, Juan, looks like you're wrong about the Jets. Looks like me and Roy are going to be able to take that. Is there anything here, Alf, as you look at this that surprises you? Is there anyone that you're like, person A was wrong, or if we all picked someone to win, is there anyone all of us are wrong?
Well, I'm focusing on Juan, and Juan is like,
what did I do?
all his picks are like as anti-Dolphin as you can be. Like, think about it. He has the Jets. All right, let's go one by one, right? He has the Jets, right? He has the Jets. He has the Patriots, all right? So he has the Patriots. Of course, he has, the Buccaneers against the Dolphins. But he has the Patriots. The Patriots are starting 4 offensive linemen
Against Houston, Alf, what you want me to do?
Houston will figure it out today to make it close. All right. Then, of course, he has his Sam Darnold bit, all right? He has Tannehill. He has Herbert over the Browns. To be honest with you, I think the Browns are going to kick the living shit out of the Chargers today. Okay? And then he has the Bills. So he essentially everything that could go bad for Miami, he picked it today.
Okay, but all right, I'm gonna answer you with a question.
So they don't get nothing today. They don't even get an Atlanta victory and keep the Jets in last place.
Listen.
They don't even get Kansas City. They don't even get Kansas City to pop up and beat the Bills. Wow.
But just listen though, like in this year that we've gone through, we've had 2 injuries, COVID with Austin Jackson, and that made him worse somehow. I don't even know how that's possible. We've had wide receiver injuries. Is this not the year where it's just everything against the Dolphins?
Maybe. Yeah, but sometimes it turns around,
It could. It could. It's a 17-game.
By the way,
it's
crazy stat, and I read this on the podcast this week. Do you know that Austin Jackson hasn't given up a sack this year?
I fucking saw that.
But he's given up.
I had to double check. Not because I didn't trust you guys. I just didn't trust my ears. I'm like, there's just no way I'm hearing. He didn't give up no sacks. Like,
but he's giving up. And I went and I said, you know what? I'm just going to jump the gun here and say that he leads Earth, meaning that he leads
high school, college.
He leads high school, college, peewee football, everything. He's given up 20 pressures. How is that possible?
Who was it that brought up last year's least amount of pressures given up linemen?
Bakhtiari, I think it was.
Yeah, it was like 6. 6 in 16 games. And here we have Austin with 20 in 3.
Yeah. That's insane. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just say Austin Jackson leads Earth in pressures allowed.
I would take that bet.
So, any final statements that we want to give here before we round out the pregame show?
Yeah, I think it's and I can finish up with this. It's popular to say, look, they should play loose and they got nothing to lose. Well, first of all, they do have something to lose. A football game, okay? You only play 17 of these, all right? So it's kind of important. But there is some pressure today. They got to play well today. They don't play well. They should get all the shit they're going to get for 5 days this week.
Oh, yeah.
So what's the line? It's 10. Lose by less than 10 and be competitive throughout. Don't put on 3 garbage time touchdowns to cut it to 10 in the fourth quarter. Don't do that. Be competitive. Be competitive. Lose by 9. All right.
Yeah. Lose.
Preferably,
6.
I said better. I said lose by a touchdown. Lose by a touchdown. Fight them. Play hard for 60 minutes, and then they were just better. But getting blown out is not in the cards this week. It can't be.
Juan?
Literally verbatim almost everything Alfredo said. If you get blown out this week, there's no more changing players around. Like, you've changed the players around. You've moved people around. You've changed positions. You've done different schematical things. If you get blown out this week, someone needs to be fired. Somebody. Like, you have to blatantly blame somebody. Or else we're going to look at Flores all week like, bro, what are you doing? And last week they asked him some questions about disconnect and next steps for Austin. And bro, the man is staying quiet for 30 seconds to answer a question.
I thought they said it was 49 on 3 yards per
game. Well, the one where they asked him about Austin was like 47, but the one where they asked him about disconnect, it was 32. I think I counted. So for me, if you go 1-4 if you get destroyed by the Bucs, I understand it's almost expected, but there has to be some pride eventually. Like there's somebody has to stand up and say, nah, man, like we can't go out like this, bro. And if we went into this season with playoff hopes and playoff expectations, and they're gonna get thrown out the window week 5, we need a reason for that. And for me, it's looking like it's gonna be the O-line coach.
Royal, final thoughts as we round out here.
No problem. So 4 weeks into my Dolphins fandom is going exactly how I predicted that it would go.
Sorry, Royal.
But it's okay.
Wish you could have had you last year, dog.
It's okay. I'm excited about them winning this game this year and being on the other side when you guys are back yelling from the rooftops that you're winning the Super Bowl. So after the Dolphins win this game, then I'm gonna be excited to have a good time next week dealing with the Dolphins fans as they come. So yeah, I'm not gonna say if, I'm gonna say when. And that's the way I choose to look at this week, and that's how I'm gonna be for the rest of the time.
Like,
all right. Well, we round out here for YardPrep pregame. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Of course, we will have halftime spaces. You can catch that on all of our Twitters. I don't know, Alfredo, you want to join us for halftime spaces, or you got something else going on?
They've turned into like a therapy session. So
they have turned into a therapy session. This is true.
Maybe next time. Today, I'm going to be in my backyard staring at the TV.
So if you want to have your voice be heard, if you want to give out, it's literally therapy. We're therapists listening to everyone talk, and we give everyone an opportunity as much as possible. Come and join the halftime spaces. You'll see it pop up on Twitter. We're gonna go live right about like a couple minutes before the game ends.
Wait a minute, you talk to fans at halftime?
Yes, yeah. We let everyone come in and
count me completely.
They talk crazy, Alfredo.
It's an interesting experience, but thank you guys so much for joining. Of course, again, halftime spaces, the final yard that'll come on for the post game show as well. That's Louis Sung, Hassan Patel, Ethan Skolnick, I think, and then
Jazz Santana too.
Jazz Santana and possibly John. So yes, so thank you guys so much again for tuning in. We will see you guys next week, and just hopefully it's not embarrassing today.